ACCUSTATS Video Productions presents from Prescott, Arizona, the second annual Prescott Resort Arizona Classic. I'm Bill Incardona along with Belinda Campos. Belinda, we're going to have what I feel is going to be an extremely exciting and close match between two fierce competitors, and it was proven last night, if it was ever proven, these two really want to beat one another.
There is an intense rivalry between these two players. The history of jockeying back and forth for the second place ranking and how important that is to each one of these players. There is, once they're on the table, there is no love lost.
There certainly isn't, and that was certainly evidenced last night. I was talking with both GERDA Hofstatatter and Jeanette Lee, and I was talking with Jeanette Lee first, and she was chatting with me and Allison Fisher, and we got into some crazy stuff. It's all on tape, by the way, and I'm sorry if you call ACCUSTATS, you'll be able to buy it for a reasonable price, I'm sure. And then all of a sudden, GERDA Hofstatatter joined us, and she added somewhat colorful notes to the commentary, if you will. And it evolved into which of the three players actually was the best player. Mm-hmm. And Jeanette Lee accused GERDA of stealing her second place ranking. And then GERDA Hofstatatter said, I did not. She says, and furthermore, we can settle this tomorrow at the table. And then I interjected and I says, well, hold it a second, Jeanette, she didn't steal your second place ranking. She earned it. And here you are trying to steal it back without winning it.
Well, I tell you what, she sure has earned it. And I think one of the main things that has helped her to do that is she finally, when she's calling information, the operator finally answered and gave her Allison Fisher's number.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
That was a major hurdle, and one she seemed to broken through, and once you open the door once, floodgates can open.
And since she's gotten Allison Fisher's number, she certainly has got the endorsement from her peers, and I think that's helped quite a bit itself. It's always nice to have the endorsement of your peers, reassuring yourself that really I have finally arrived and I can play, and I can play the game that I've always known that I could play.
Even more importantly is allowing yourself the knowledge, the confidence that yes, it can be done, and yes, I can do it, and yes, I am good enough to beat the number one player in the world.
And that's exactly right. And whenever that happens, it's just amazing how your game elevates from that point. It's just really amazing. I've seen it happen quite often, and it is really a big difference in the person's play.
It's people don't realize, for example, new players that come on the tour. The established players, boy, they never want that person to beat them the very first time, because they know once they do, then they're always a threat. So as long as you keep that door closed, you have that 1 or 2 game feint factor in your favor, right?
You certainly do. That's right.
You're in good shape, but you never want to even let them get you the first time.
The better player always has the advantage of at least one game. That's called an intimidation factor. One game. And depending on how good you are, determines on how many games you have the best of it in terms of how intimidating you are. Mm-hmm. And I would say that both of these players really have a lot of respect for one another at this point.
Oh, of course. Yes, of course.
So therefore, that intimidation factor is more or less negated in this instance.
Yes, there's not one here. Each player is so confident in their own game, and like you say, both respect the other's game. And I think at this point, they're really not concerned as to what the other player is going to do. There's nothing the other player can do that can intimidate them. There's nothing one can do that the other one can't do, so that it's not going to be a factor. All they have to worry about is their own performance.
That's exactly right, and that certainly is going to lend to a very close and exciting match.
I wouldn't be surprised to see this go hill-hill.
I love to see it.
Yeah.
I love to see it hill-hill and see which one of the two really have it at the end. I like both of these players as people. And Jeanette, because I was doing the Jennifer Chen match the last round, and I got stuck in that gear. When you reach a certain age, you kind of get stuck in gears.
Tell us about that, Billy. I wouldn't know. By the way, if I fail to complete a sentence, feel free to step right in, okay?
Please. Miss Dictionary.
I'll help you out too.
I don't think I'm going to have any of the best of that. And by the way, where's Mary Kennison? And the reason I brought her name up is because I've always referred to her as Miss IQ, throughout the years, because we've always had a lot of challenges with one another in different different things in life, and she's always had the better of me. And so I said, well, okay, Miss IQ, what do you think about this now?
Yeah, well, actually, Mary hasn't been to the last couple of events. She's got, I think, some physical moves going on and isn't quite settled, so hopefully she'll be back.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to have Mary around. She always has something witty to say or keeps the action stirred.
Mary's been a wonderful addition to our tour, as have both these players. I remember when Jeanette first came on the tour, boy, she came in like a little lioness, and but basically is fulfilled the prophecies that she set for herself when she first came on tour. And
Jeanette is a goal setter, and them goals are usually pretty high, but she has such desire and determination that she accomplishes most of what she sets out to accomplish. So you have to have a lot of respect for a person like that.
And of course, the most important thing being that you have to set those in the first place.
Oh, we're ready. How about you?
I'm ready. This is going to be
right.
so exciting. By the way, I want to say on behalf of the WPBA and myself personally how excited and just really thankful that ACCUSTATS is here at the women's event with Prescott, and we're looking forward to you guys coming in and being with us on many more occasions.
Well, thanks a lot, and we feel the same way. You know, we really enjoy and love being around the women, because not only because of the standpoint of how well they're playing today, but they're such a pleasure, and they're so comfortable to be around.
We are so wonderful, aren't we?
Yes, you certainly are. So let's get to some serious stuff now.
Okay. Well, it was a pretty close lag. There was about a half a ball's distance difference between the 1 and the 3 there.
This is going to be a little bit of extra added pressure on both of these players during this match because of, the goals they set at least last night. They've challenged one another last night, and it's evolving to a head right here. And we're going to find out who is going to be able to deal with this mentally the best. And the person that deals with this mentally the best is the person I feel will go on and win this match.
Well, Gerda's coming off a couple of wins, so, she's riding on that momentum and on that confidence. Jeanette, always has consistent finishes. But right now, Gerda's got to be, 90 miles in the air.
Last year, in 1998, Gerda Hofstadter was ranked number 2 for a large portion of the year, and then at the end she tailed off and she finished up ranked number 5. But this year she's done extremely well. She's currently ranked number 2, and actually earned that ranking. Jeanette feels that she stole it. We'll find out.
Well, Gerda came up dry on the first break.
Notice the 7 and the 9, a problem a little later on in this particular game that the player is going to have to deal with. All the other balls seem to be lying very nicely over the table. 5 to the 6 may be a little bit of a problem.
Well, it's one good thing that the 4 is here. The 4 is here close to these 2 balls, so that she could use this to actually bump into these balls and still have a shot at the 6 for this other corner pocket.
Well, the 5 will be after the 4. Miss Dictionary.
Oops.
Uh-oh. That was a little careless on her part, I think. Hitting it a little roughly. The pocket didn't accept the shot. She seems kind of stunned at the moment now that it didn't go in, but she's going to have to take her chair. I don't think she's suffered that much of a consequence in missing that ball. I do believe Gerda does have a bank cross corner, cue ball, 1 cushion in this direction here. I don't know if...
or perhaps it being so early in the match, she might choose to send the 2 ball around this way and hide her behind the 5 ball.
Another excellent option available. And that's the one she has chosen, but unfortunately she wasn't able to put her or hook her behind the 5.
Just a hair too high on the cue ball. She needed to, rather than stop the ball, replace the 2 ball with the cue ball.
But you say it's one of those matches where both players are experienced a little early match jitters there?
Oh, definitely. Jeanette seemed to actually even rush that shot. She bent over, addressed it twice, and pulled the trigger. Probably trying to get loose, feeling that she's, a little tight, and say, well, let me just kind of try and free stroke this.
Exactly. Like I mentioned before, a lot of other pressures out there. Both of these players at this time are experiencing, but when they're the players out there settle in, we're going to see some really fine
good play. I agree. Looks like Gerda's choosing to kick at this one rail. And actually, it's sitting on a pretty good line since the cue ball is in pretty good line with the corner. We know that these 2 points connect. It's easy to judge the hit on this shot.
So you look for her to hit this reasonably well, and which she did, almost pocketing the 2, I might add. And that was a pretty good and accurate prediction.
Hit it with a nice speed, too. I can remember when the women used to kick at everything at warp speed, just hoping to hit the ball.
That's right, but
we've become a lot more sophisticated since then.
Jeanette stepping to the table with a nice shot on the 2, drawing the cue ball back for position on the 3. But the problem now lies right here with the 4 ball. Notice the position of the 9 and the 6. It really blocks off a lot of the area here that you want to be in, but you can't be there because of the presence of the 6 and the 9. So you're going to have to try another plan. You have to get back, and I think she's done that quite well.
She hit that ball.
I don't know. The cue ball seems to snuggle up against the 9. Maybe not.
If she has a shot on the 4, she's sitting nice. And actually, she wants to. If she draws back here, she wants to make sure that she hits it hard enough, gets enough stroke on it to create an angle for herself to get back on the 6 ball.
That's very noteworthy. 9 ball is a game of angles, and certainly in this instance, you're going to need an angle to get from the 5 to the 6 if you expect to run out this rack. And it looks like she's attained the correct angle on the 5, Belinda. Matter of fact, I don't think she could have placed it any better with her hand.
With ball in hand.
But she has to make sure that she puts a good stroke into this ball. The 5 is rather deep in that corner. And that's what I mean. Watch that side pocket. See how deeply the 5 was positioned? That means you have to put a good stroke so you can clear the side. That time she didn't do as well as she wanted to, but she still does have a shot, but it's not an easy one. Nicely executed shot. She's totally prepared to play this match. A little rough from the off start, but looks like she's starting to settle in now. This is a very interesting situation. She has a severe angle on the 7. She would have liked to have a better angle on the 7 where she could have gone 1, 2, 3 cushions to end up here. But the angle is too severe to do that. It's going to shorten up. It's going to bring her over here and then out here. So therefore, she really wants to end up maybe here. Let's see how well she does with this. She has chosen to go 1 cushion, which is going to give her a little more distance to deal with.
Right. I don't think she wanted to deal with the possibility of the 9 ball going around 3 rails, so she chose the safe route.
Yeah, I totally agree with that assessment.
Pulled up on that a little bit. I think she stood up just a little bit. Again, she seems to be rushing a little bit.
She certainly did.
Jeanette's style is a little more deliberate than what she just executed. Gerda comes to the table with a very nice opportunity to win the first game. And like I say, in the beginning of the match, we can expect to see the cue ball come a little bit short or a little bit far until their muscles get a little settled in.
Both players have to make the adjustment to the speed of the cloth, how the rails are responding. A little pressures out there. It's going to be a transition that neither player is going to find it's going to be that easy, but I think by the time we get around the game number 3 or 4, I think both players at that time should be pretty much settled in.
Yes, I agree with your assessment, Billy.
Finally.
This is the second year we've been back here to Bucky's Casino. It's really a fabulous resort area here in Prescott, Arizona, and they have just treated us royally. Mick has done such a fabulous job and this will be an event that we'll really enjoy coming to for many years to come.
Yeah, I really like it here also, and if I have the opportunity next year to come back here, I'll certainly be looking forward to it.
Well, consider yourself having an invitation, Bill.
Do you have the authority to say that? Oh, excuse me, I forgot. She broke the balls fairly well, pocketing a ball in the break, but she allowed the cue ball to go forward. Now, when the cue ball goes forward, a large percentage of the time, the one ball goes down the other end of the table and creates a long shot for the subsequent shot, and this is what she's confronted with here. A very long, difficult shot, not only in terms of pocketing the one, but also playing position for the two. Now, the 2 and 4 are positioned quite close to one another, where the 2 being the ball in front of the 4. Mm-hmm. So therefore, she can play position for the combination.
Plus, the 8 ball here, when she does pocket the one, she has to avoid the 8.
And that is very difficult in itself. She wasn't able to do that. And
although I don't know if she was playing it, actually, to come out and break out the 2, and that's perhaps why she might have missed the 1, or she just missed the 1, and that caused the cue ball to go there. But
I think a good lesson to be learned in that instance is when you have a shot that carries the difficulty of that particular shot, you would be probably better advised to put a lot of concentration in pocketing the ball opposed to trying to control the cue ball to break open a cluster or whatever. I think that more emphasis should be put on pocketing the ball in that instance.
Right. You don't want to lose control of the table. And if you don't, get exactly what you wanted, or if you're not free to break up the cluster that needs to be broken up, well, now you can solve that problem when you get to it.
Exactly.
The important thing is that you're still at the table.
Exactly.
With a shot on the next object ball, or with an open view to the next object ball, unlike we see here.
That's exactly right. Now, Gerda was guilty of not controlling the table, and now that's why she's ended up in the position that she has. But excellent hit on the 1 ball, and she got paid off for it.
Good things happen when you hit the ball.
That's for sure. Never give up. Always try to hit it, even though it may seem difficult, or don't ever get disheartened and give up. That's for sure. Always give yourself a chance to win.
Okay, Jeanette did all she could possibly do with that, leaving the cue ball there on the rail, trying to tuck it in behind the 6. Left Gerda long. Here we go again. Now let's see if she this time takes your advice, Billy, and just concentrates on the 1, or perhaps returns to safety.
She shot the correct shot, in my opinion. Going after the offensive shot would have been ill-advised. She played the safe shot. I don't know if she's that ill-fated to have left a 1-6 combination dead, but we'll find out.
Did. Or, well, maybe not dead, but makeable. Very easily makeable.
Yeah, I hate to say that anything is dead when it's a combination, but how many of those have I missed? So, dead ones, I mean.
No such thing as an easy combination.
Oh, that was a perfectly executed shot. As you can see, the cue ball going up table, then back down table for position on the 1.
Very nice speed. She's checking to see if the 2 ball passes by.
It does pass, but not much room.
So, in that case, you want to try and be as close to the 2 as you can get.
Yes, you certainly do. Distance now is definitely an enemy. You don't want to create too much distance on this particular shot because of the small pocket that she'll be shooting into here. So therefore, the closer you are to this ball, the more chances of pocketing it. I do believe she's gotten close enough to hit it accurately. The angle seems a bit clumsy, but I think it's very workable.
Looks like she's going to follow up to shoot the 3 in the side pocket. I guess she didn't like drawing back.
She has a lot of confidence in her shot-making ability, realizing that this was the type of a shot that she would be left with, not having any fear of it.
Well, that and the pace involved in drawing the ball back for the 3, where she opted to shoot it in that pocket. With that tight of a squeeze, it's harder to be as accurate.
Actually, more or less guaranteeing herself that she would pocket the 2.
Correct. Controlling and still controlling the table.
And that's what it's all about, isn't it? Control.
That's so true. It's hard for your opponent to win if they're not at the table.
So now Jeanette Lee has an opportunity to get into a rhythm and start to relax herself and settle in where she hopes to play her best game. And if we can see that from both players, will be thoroughly entertained and probably satisfied because we've gotten our money's worth.
So that makes the score 1-1 now.
Well, this is like kind of like we expected. Both players showing the other one the respect that they demanded and deserved. A little rough at the beginning, but it's going to eventually evolve into a really an exciting, close match. Hopefully it will, but I think it will.
And, you know, I think I'd be surprised to see either one of these players get more than 3 or so games ahead of the other.
Unless, the bow wow comes out, then you never can tell, but I don't think it will.
Oh, I don't think it will either. These two players have so many matches under their belt under these conditions.
Yeah, most certainly both of these players are seasoned, experienced players. They have the credentials certainly to back that up, and also the current ranking to back it up. And I would imagine that the winner of this match will probably end up ranked number 2.
You know, I don't know for sure, but I can research that. Maybe we can find that out, see what kind of bearing this match does have on the ranking.
Okay, let's keep this overhead view, and the options she's going to have presented to her are a possible billiard 2-9 here, providing that she can get the cue ball somewhere in this area here, because if she allows the cue ball not to end up in this area and ends up in this area, that she loses her market on the billiard.
Right, it looks like she'll probably come 2 rails so she can come in. Oh, she came 1. Well, see now.
Now she's losing her market on the billiard because the 4 now will preclude her from playing the billiard. She looks like she has a portion of the pocket to shoot into. I didn't know from our vantage point if that was even available.
Right. I think maybe she met, oh, no problem making the 2 there. I think she was just playing to make the 2, Billy.
Yeah, well, she could have possibly had that in mind all along.
If not, I think she definitely would have opted to take the 2 rail route, which would have brought her in, the right angle there.
Well, she's created somewhat of a problem for herself here. Not only does she have a very difficult thin hit here, but controlling the cue ball is going to be a problem also.
Right, she has to avoid the 9.
Yeah, she's got to go around the 6, and then she's got to hit it with a speed that will allow her to shoot the 5 comfortably and still come up with some sort of an angle on the 5 to drop nicely for the 6.
Right.
So therefore, she has a lot of work in front of her on this particular shot.
A lot of problems to solve before she's been over the ball here.
Hit a little roughly because she wanted to control the cue ball. She didn't want the cue ball to escape the area that it's ended up in. And in doing that, she hit the thick part of the 4 and consequently missed the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent shot. She has certainly attained a nice angle on the 5 to drop nicely for the 6, I think, in the side pocket. But she looks like she's going to float up and play position for the 6 in the corner. I like the side because I can hit it with a cinch stroke, a punch stroke. She prefers the corner. That shot, I would imagine, just a matter of preference. She chose the corner. She's done well with it. Well,
I think, too, just the pace, too, just to make sure that the pocket was going to accept the ball. If you're stunning over, you catch any part of that rail going in, it has a tendency to wobble in the hull. So
yeah,
she rolled it in nicely.
That's an excellent point you brought up there. By choosing to shoot it in the corner, she allowed the pocket to play larger than she would have if she would have shot it, play position for the 6 on the side. She's playing position for the 6 on the side, she would have had to hit the ball harder, and therefore the pocket would have played smaller.
Right, and actually, too, I think if you think about it, the margin of error was a lot greater floating up for the
absolutely,
6 in the corner.
And I thought I kind of said that, but maybe you didn't interpret it as such. But.
No, I'm talking about for position on the 6. I thought you were referring
to
I
see.
Oh,
yeah. No, I apologize.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just an easier shot to judge in terms of position.
Well, Jeanette gave up an opportunity there, one that should have been hers.
Exactly.
And,
she got a little careless I believe it was from the 3 to the 4, wasn't it? Playing position for the 4. She had to shot the 3 to the side, and it was crucial for her to get better than she did on the floor.
Right. I've always said it's not how many games you win; it's how many games you don't give away.
That's
If you take advantage of all your opportunities, you will win a very large percentage of your matches.
You certainly will, and that's what I saw last night when I watched Allison Fisher at the table. In her match with Lori John Jones, at the beginning of the match, both players made a few mistakes, but not more than a few. And then once Allison Fisher settled in, and it was like game number 4, forget about it, she played airlessly throughout the match.
Taking advantage of every single opportunity.
Every opportunity.
Right. Well, Gerda broke, made a ball, didn't have a shot on the 1, pushed out. Jeanette took the shot and played safe.
Even though Jeanette...
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Even though Jeanette didn't have an offensive shot on the 1, it goes back to what you said earlier. She still had control of the table. And when you have control on the table, you don't necessarily have to pocket a ball to give yourself the advantage.
Oh, of course not. Gerda's going to kick at this 1 rail. She was kind of looking at the side pocket over there where the 3 ball is.
She may get paid off for this. No, not that time.
That was a good effort.
Okay, now Jeanette has to be very careful not to allow this opportunity to slip by her here. As you remember, the last time she had an opportunity, she didn't really do that well with it. It looks like she's going to have to go around the 2 here, or maybe even between the 2 and 9. This is a shot that's not an easy one.
That's always such a tricky proposition, controlling that first object ball on a combination. Yeah, she didn't like the idea of letting her cue ball go and perhaps being hooked by the 7.
Now this hook is much better than the last one. See, now she's cut off the side rail. Gerda cannot go to the side rail where the 1 is to kick at the 1. She's going to have to kick at it in another fashion. So Jeanette certainly has played a better safety this time than she did last time. Hitting this 1 ball is going to be difficult. She's going to be hard pressed to hit this 1 ball. It's not a very large target.
No, actually, I like 1 rail this way.
Yeah, that's probably the best option.
Again, when the ball's close to the pocket, you have a lot better reference points.
And then she also could hit it coming off the second cushion also. See, this way she has a small target, but nevertheless, she was able to execute the shot very nicely.
She hit it very nicely. And perhaps at this point in time, Gerda feels like she sees those a little better.
She's going to have to go to her left hand. We'll see now if she can.
Looks like another save.
Don't get lazy. She's getting a little careless, but okay, she's cleared it.
She got there.
This is the 3rd time Gerda stepped to the table having to kick. This is getting kind of old for her, that is.
Well, and that's one of the game plans, I'm sure. When you have such explosive offensive players like we have here, you're real aware that you don't want to let them get out of the gate too much. Slow them down, pull those reins in, play them tight, get them to kicking.
That's exactly right. You got to keep your opponent off balance as much as you can, and if you can manage to do that whenever you have an opportunity at the table to run out, just run out. The next time, she looks like she hit it a little lazily.
She got there.
She got there. How'd you know that? That's what I get paid for.
And actually, if your opponent gets up and breaks and runs out 3 or 4 racks, well, it doesn't really affect you as much as if they make you fail. In other words, they play safe and you hit it and give up a shot, or if you fail to hit it, give them ball in hand. Now you've actually failed, right? You've
Exactly.
committed an error. Whereas if your opponent got up and broke and ran out, well, you didn't have anything to do with it. You're
Right.
still in the same spot mentally,
That's another noteworthy point about the psychological aspect of the game. It's always nice to kind of like break your opponent down. It seems to make that win seem a little more satisfying. Because you know that's something that you created. And you got paid off for it because you know it works, because it's probably happened to you. And it's happened to me a number of
Many
times too.
yes.
So it's nice to put your opponent in that situation. It's very stressful too. Now that's a nice shot. She repositioned the cue ball in an area on the table where she wouldn't have to deal with the 9.
Right.
That's a very heads-up play there.
And actually, she just needs to get back, in the area where she is right now.
That's exactly right. Now, she looked at the shot like she had a problem with it, and actually she really doesn't have a problem. Distance should not be a problem on this particular shot.
Uh-huh.
You see, she didn't really need to draw past the side. All she needed to do was draw back a foot because the eight ball, the 8 ball is close enough to the upper left-hand corner where it shouldn't create a problem for her.
In fact, she didn't want to get down past the side because she'd be too straight on the 8.
She would lay rather awkward on the 8, and we didn't want that to happen, or at least she shouldn't have wanted that to happen. But she thought it was a fair trade-off, and I don't think it was, but she's trying to work her way through the rack.
Oh, that's a nice shot of Jeanette. When she got down over that ball, you can see her alignment. We were more directly in front of her before, but maybe we'll get that shot later. Nice shot.
Sometimes it's hard to force yourself to shoot a bank like that, particularly on the 9, because you lose a little dignity, number one. I've gotten out of line on the 9. I can cut it in, and it appears like I did a decent job. And if I bank it, people are saying, boy, she can't even play position on the 9. I mean, that's what runs some of the thoughts that run through your mind occasionally.
I heard an interesting thought, actually, just in the last few days about banking the 9 like that. It's like it kind of gives the player an out. Well, if they miss the 9, it was a bank shot.
Well, that's true, too. but the point is, it's hard to draw back and bank the 9. Like if I was her at that time, it would be hard for me to bank that 9. I probably would have ended up banking the 9. And so she had to deal with a lot of mental things there and handled it quite well.
Well, I think when, if the angle is such that a scratch or having to really let the cue ball go, comes into play, rather than deal with those factors,
Yeah, it's definitely the right shot. She chose the right shot. And it wasn't like a gimme bank either, by the way.
Right.
It carried an angle that was very missable.
Okay, she came up dry on the break. Not too many balls on the break so far during the match.
No, I think the break hasn't been the difference in this match by any means. Nicely struck, but didn't get credit for the ball.
Well, she did it. She was trying to spin it in, I don't know, maybe rail first and caught it just a little bit going in.
This is really a difficult situation to deal with. I don't know if the 4 precludes her from being able to cut the 1 in. If it does, she's really got a problem. If she can cut the 1 in, I think that would be the shot to shoot, even though it's rather difficult. I don't think she has much of a choice. See, the 4 did prevent her from cutting the 1 in, so therefore she just had to give herself a chance. I certainly don't disagree with what she did. She hit it with some speed, maybe giving herself a chance to rat something in or do something
or to
productive.
Get lucky and leave the 1 right on the other side of the side. And
she didn't roll it like she had a plan.
Right.
Well, there's no plan there. You had to just try to get lucky.
Well, you can plan to perhaps try and keep the cue ball on that end of the table.
Well, from a
with
distance,
the high stroke, that was just tough proposition.
It certainly was, and I thought she negotiated it quite well, and the results seemed to lend to that. So therefore, GERDA's at the table now with really not an offensive shot, scored tied at 2 games apiece.
As far as the safety here, Billy, what do you see? It's with the 8 ball on this side. It hinders the path of the cue ball of hitting the 1 on the left-hand side.
Well, I think that she's really got a problem.
I wonder, does she have enough angle to be able to send the 1 here and over like this? Bank it in and send it in this area?
That looks like it's possible, but she's going to have to hit it perfectly to do that, controlling the cue ball too.
Well, perhaps
she's
she
going to
can
try
just
to
leave the cue ball right there. See, that with that 8 ball, well, maybe she was going for the 8 ball.
This isn't that easy of an opportunity either. Notice that she's going to have to jack up, elevate her cue, shoot over the 8 and the 3, and pocketing the ball is going to be very difficult in itself. And notice where the position of the 2 is, way down at the other end of the table, underneath her. She's going to have serious problems there. She's opting to play a safety. I kind of like what she's thinking about. Let's get an overhead here, please. I kind of like coming off the 1 once she moves. Well, she's not going to. She's going to opt to shoot over the ball, trying to go after the shot. Wow.
She got right between 3 and 9.
What an
overstroked it, actually. Yeah. Well, actually, I think she was anticipating bumping into one of those balls, and that's why she put a little extra on it, right? So that she could still get through the ball and still have a shot on the 2. And sure enough, she came directly between them.
Yeah, that's just a plus there. In the event that she would have hit the 3 ball, at least she hit it with the velocity and the stroke, possibly to work her way through it. I like this shot. The closer she
Right
gets to the
behind
six,
Mm-hmm.
the better chance she has of coming back to the table with a good shot. But she bumped the 6 a little too hard, and she removed it.
Just a hair too much pace. Gerda can go behind the 2 here. Well, I didn't draw that line very good. She can come behind the 2. Looks like she's elevating a little bit and even curving it. She might.
It sounded pretty nice, but
you got to be careful.
no, she got too deeply behind it, and she hit it really well, but she hit it too good. She got too deep behind it. Now, notice the 3 is available. The upper left-hand corner pocket is available for the 3. That may be the only pocket beside the side, which is a small pocket that's available for the 3. I myself would play position for the upper left-hand corner because it seems to be a large pocket.
Right, that's what she's looking at now.
And considering where the 4 is, if you position the cue ball, say right here, all you got to do is pocket the 3 and then follow up, straight up.
Right.
And then you're there.
And that's why she's shooting the 2 into this pocket instead of this one, because basically she could just stop her ball there and
end up where she
end up
is.
Exactly perfect right now. She just, make the ball, followed up a hair.
Now, she really can't be guilty of the same thing she did the last time she had a good opportunity, and that was to get careless. And that was from the 3 to the 4. This time, the balls are positioned really nicely over the table, and the only thing that can stop her from here is to get careless. And I don't expect her to do that.
Now she's trying to decide where she wants on the 6.
I don't think there's a position on the table that she's not going to be able to work her way out of it on the 6. If she gets straight, she can draw it straight back, and either angle would have sufficed on the 6. The only thing that she didn't want to do was get behind the 9. Very nicely executed shot. Nice speed of the cue ball. So just follow through here, hitting that side cushion, then back out slightly, stopping the ball. Straight in for the 8. Maybe she got too much of an angle to do that. She may have to go around or draw it back. I don't know. But she would have preferred to just stop it. Let's see what she has. She had a nice angle. She's shooting the 9 to take the lead 3-2.
And that's the way to take advantage of your opportunities. She played the nice save, get ball in hand, and see you later.
So after game number 5, we have the match we expected to see, a very sharply contested match by both players. Somebody has to have the lead after 5 games. That's the way mathematics are.
It's amazing how empowering ball in hand is. I bet you could put the same layout on the table, and it was like, say, from the break, or give a player ball in hand and, set it up 10 times, and I just know they would run out more times starting out with ball in hand than not, even if the ball was in the same place.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just amazing.
It's absolutely correct.
Well, Gerda's wondering when she's going to get an open shot. And perhaps hoping that nothing goes on the break and she's got a good shot on the 1.
Got pretty good action off of that break, and it looks like she's going to end up with a pretty good shot on the 1. Notice the position of the 2 at this end of the table. She does have an angle. If she cuts the 1 in, she can go 1 cushion, 2 cushion, and then into the 9. Maybe she'll miss the 9. Maybe she'll come over here. Got some problems there, but it's workable. Let's see how well she does with it. Or maybe she can just come 1 cushion down here. I can't see the angle, but she's opted to go 2. I knew she had some traffic down here, and I knew there was going to be something unusual happening because of it, and she didn't pocket the 1. But this shot is a very difficult one in terms of not only distance pocketing the ball, but getting the ball back for position for the 2.
Looks like she's going to go for it, though.
Yeah, you're almost forced to go for it. You really don't have much of a safety there.
Well, I meant in the sense of pocketing the 1 and trying to achieve position on the 2. She was actually trying to draw it back to get position, as opposed to pocketing the 1 and then,
right, cinching it
right and playing a safety on the 2.
Okay, this is an interesting situation. If we can have an overhead, maybe I'll give you an option. I like controlling the cue ball here. 1, 2 cushions and up in this area right here, utilizing the presence of the 6 and the 8 for a possible snooker. she's opting to go this cushion here, this way here, this route, using the 4 as the interfering ball. Let's see what happens here. Okay, she was able to handle it quite nicely. See, the problem I see with that shot, if she doesn't get the hook, look, she sells out the game. This way, if she doesn't get the hook, she has distance as an ally. But I can't argue with success.
Well, she's looking at the 1 rail, really just about her only option, Billy.
Yeah, that's the way I see it also. And even if she is fortunate enough to pocket the 2, there's no future in playing position because the 3 worst position on the other side of the table. So therefore, she's really got some problems ahead of her here. Now, this is something that you really wanted to step to the table with ball in hand, considering the position of the 3. The 3's position where there really isn't many accessible routes to it. But if you have ball in hand, you're certainly going to make that situation
certainly increases your odds.
Yes, it certainly does.
Ooh.
And I think that's maybe a mistake at times to go to the draw shot instead of just figuring out an angle to follow it, because it's much easier to judge the speed of a follow shot than it is of a draw shot. So if at all possible, if you could position the cue ball to where you would have an angle to follow it to get to the 3, even 2 rails sometimes, it's better than drawing it. But she's ended up really ideally on the 5. Now so just float down for position on the 6 and the side, and everything should be rather routine after that. This is game number 6. Gerda's at the table, looking to tie up the match at 3 games apiece. They call her G-Force.
Very nicely done.
Very nicely done, that's right. And her opponent referred to as the Black Widow. And we have a dead even match at the end of 6 games, 3 apiece.
Surprise, surprise.
Oh, surprise me, I tell you.
You know, that's really one of the exciting things about the women's matches. They just seem to be a lot closer than, the matches themselves the scores seem to be a lot closer most of the time.
I guess you could look at it that way, but the matches we've had on the feature table really haven't been close.
Really?
We really haven't had close matches. Matter of fact, I don't know how many matches we've done on the feature table, maybe a half a dozen or 7 or so. But the closest match we've had on the feature table has been 9-6.
Really?
So this is something that we really need, and it couldn't have come at a better time, providing that it does end up.
Either that or you have a very negative effect on our players, Billy.
I don't think so. I think
only one of them.
You people out there didn't hear that. Pat said something in reference to what Belinda just said, and Belinda couldn't stop herself from commenting on it. And we won't elaborate on that anyways. Good break. Unfortunately, hasn't come up with a shot on the 1. Notice where the 1 ended up. It's very rare, by the way, to see the 1 after the break.
In the middle of the rail
to end up at this end of the table.
It had to have gotten kissed by something or... that is very rare, Billy. Boy, I tell you, you hate to push here, because you're going to be locked up if you do.
Well, there's no law or rule that says you have to push.
No, she's going to kick it. She's going to go 2 rails. I was just surprised she didn't. She's got a nice angle to kick 1 and leave the cue ball there and send the 1 up table. I
like what she's done there, even though she does. She has left the shot, but I kind of like what she did. Now, the problem with kicking 1 cushion is because the 1 ball was out of distance off the cushion just enough to where she got too deeply behind it, then the cue ball would have worked its way into that pocket, and it was a kick that was going to be hard to judge. Now, our option was a good one because she could have left a lot of distance, which she did, but unfortunately, she left her a shot.
Right. Actually, it was a good choice. Just a little too much pace.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you're planning to hit it thinly, right, to send it over and come back, or possibly make it and send the cue ball up table, you have to remember your speed. Jeanette just made a nice 2-rail kick also. Oh.
I don't believe she's left her a shot here.
And a little fortunate.
Now, Jeanette mentioned something to Gerda, like, are you going for the shot? Because if you're going for the shot, I want someone to take a look at it. But evidently, she doesn't have enough room to pocket the 2 in the upper right-hand corner. Gerda pointed with her stick toward the left-hand corner, and which suggested to me that she's going to try to bank the 2 cross corner.
If she even has enough 2-ball for that.
Yeah, it's a cross bank. She'll get a natural spin off
the
of
first cushion.
Yeah. The friction will create a natural spin, and if she would have hit that a little softer, she would have gotten more spin off.
I was just going to say, not with that much pace, though.
Exactly. She's really
well, not only that,
unhappy
Billy.
with herself. Look at Gerda in the chair, if you will.
Right. The pace was such that if you don't make it, you're going to sell out. She had to control the object ball a little better than that.
Just perhaps that was a shot she didn't totally understand. And that's possible. Had she understood that type of a shot, perhaps she would have opted to shoot at a little slower pace, giving the object ball a little more turn and a little better chance of pocketing it across corner.
Either that or just was suddenly overtaken by the Superman syndrome.
Superman.
Or I guess in this case, Superwoman syndrome.
Yeah. This is the angle she's going to have to be careful with, because a cross-side scratch is available, so she's going to have to be very careful here.
Negotiated it nicely. Remember, she had flirted with that side pocket earlier in game 2 or 3.
And as intelligent as a player as Jeanette is, she certainly went to school that last time, and she made the necessary adjustment.
Well, and I'm sure she was making sure she wasn't going to overcut the ball, so that the scratch is basically taken away if you don't overcut that ball.
Right, allowing your stroke to grab that backspin on the cue ball, giving a better chance to grab. And with the speed of the shot, hitting it softer allows the cue ball to grab quicker also.
We've been playing this week, as you see, Billy, on beautiful Conley billiard tables. They're our table sponsor for this event, covered with Simonis cloth. The balls are Super Pro Aramith from Imperial International.
Yeah, you definitely have the best of conditions available, and it's such a pleasure to play with the conditions that you're offered here. Well, with the 4 pocket, yes, it does, and that was the only ball that had a chance to go in, and didn't have much of a pocket either.
Again, seems like on Jeanette's break, we've got the 2-9 or the 2-something always up on this foot of the table.
Oh, she's really got a problem here. She's got an angle that suggests to me that she can't draw it straight back because the angle is too severe. She can't come cross table because there's too much traffic in the presence of the 9 on the other side of the 2.
Although I think it is possible to do this.
She can draw it straight back. I don't know if she could. I didn't think she could. Well, she did. She got the maximum out of that particular angle. She did end up with a shot on the 2. I believe that was her best choice. She opted to shoot the best choice, and she's done reasonably well with it. This is very risky shooting it opposite hand, because it's a very difficult shot, and the cue ball was difficult also, as you can see. Once again, she's gotten decent results with that particular shot, and she still has a lot of work in front of her, particularly the shot that she's confronted with here.
The more natural shot of cutting the 3 into the right-hand corner pocket is probably what she ought to do, but she's got to negotiate the 6, the 5, see exactly where she's going in. Do that. I think she can actually, she could avoid the 6. But she, well, see, that was an easier position play, cutting it in the other pocket. Tougher shot, but much more natural position play.
That was really a world-class shot. I mean, that was really upstairs. I tell you, she pocketed a tougher shot, and she hit it with the accuracy and the speed that she needed to hit it with, and she did absolutely a superb job in dealing with that particular situation. So I'm certainly sure, if anyone, she feels really good about what just happened. That certainly could pump you up there.
I was just going to say that'll pump you up.
So that's going to make Gerda's job a little bit tougher now. She certainly has sent a strong message to a lot of people in this room with that particular shot, believe me.
Well, and if you remember, once she got from the 1 to the 2, although she did have to shoot it left-handed, the balls were sitting pretty nicely. So, like we were talking about a while ago, as far as Gerda's concerned, so what? She broke and ran out. No big deal, right?
Well, Jeanette Lee certainly did her job in game number 8. Now she takes a 2-game lead in the match, 5 games to 3, and the shot on the 3 was really way up.
Beautiful, beautiful. In fact, like we were saying, that will serve to pump Jeanette up and act positively on her psyche. The point I was making is that it won't necessarily affect Gerda that greatly.
Well, that's true. But now the need to respond to the challenge is certainly there for Gerda if given an opportunity. I'm kind of curious to see how well she responds to that.
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, she has to have an opportunity to respond to it.
Mm-hmm. I don't think she's going to be rewarded with a ball in this particular rack, and up jumps that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But right away, as I can see, the 2 balls positioned underneath the 9 here, only 1 pocket available for the 2. Now we have a cluster of balls in this area right here. Now the angle that's offered to her suggests that she'll have to go around these balls that end up right here, accepting a difficult shot on the 2. She doesn't have much more than that, and that's about where she had to be.
Mm-hmm.
She got a pretty good kiss. Yeah, she sure did, and it's actually thrown her in pretty good line now. If you notice that the 3 is positioned near the foot spot right here. There's no problem of attaining a shot on the 3. But look where the 4 is behind the 8.
That's
Big problems right there. Big problems.
She wants to stay on this side of the 3, right, so that she could have come up table, but she's gotten a little bit further. Of course, now she's got the possibility of drawing back, spinning it out open a little bit for this shot, right? Shooting the 4 in this pocket.
Yeah, by staying at least straight in or underneath the 3, increased her options considerably. Had she gone up table further, she would have really limited herself with her options, but she didn't do that. Now she has a tough shot right here. Cue ball positioned very closely to that side cushion. Accuracy becomes a problem, and also controlling this cue ball in terms of speed now become a problem also.
Right, but basically all she has to do with pocket it is she can just concentrate on pocketing the ball, nice center ball, and mind keeping the speed in mind, and she'll be all right because it's natural.
Now the reason she hit the 4 ball to the right side of the pocket, because by sacrificing accuracy on the shot, it just slows up the cue ball naturally, and we all subconsciously want to do that. We want to hit it to the side of the pocket where we know the cue ball will then slow up, and when the shot is missed, it's usually missed because you hit it too thickly.
Right. Now she, on the other hand, hit the 5 ball too thin and allowed the cue ball to travel a lot further up table than she had anticipated.
If she's able to get out this rack, considering the circumstances, trailing by 2 games, and the difficulty of the layout, she certainly has done a fine job.
Showing a lot of strength.
And now she's sending another message, but this time it's to the other person.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is actually turning into the type of a match that we expected to see, and kind of thrilled that we're getting it.
Beautiful to see, beautiful to watch. I don't know if people realize how how great of a teaching and or learning tool these videotapes are. It's just incredible. I was watching a ACCUSTAT tape of not too long ago, and the next time I went to the table, goodness, it was like, wow.
Wow. A whole new world. Where did this come from?
It really, it really helps you. I would encourage everyone to watch as many of these tapes as they possibly can. Anyone that wants to improve their game, that is.
Well, thank you. And we at ACCUSTATS really appreciate, the acknowledgement from players like yourself, and it means a lot to us. But you're right on. I don't want to beat our drums, but you're right on.
Okay,
what a match! What a match! This is great.
Let's see what Gerda does on the break here.
Pocketing the corner ball.
That's where the one usually ends up, there in the middle of the head rail, right? But she got a nice little kiss.
Now take a look at this situation, Belinda.
Mm-hmm.
Notice how thinly she has to cut the one into the corner pocket in the presence of the 8. If she's able to execute this shot to near perfection, the cue ball then should hit the bottom cushion, and then going into the 8. Once it does that, the 8 will impede the progress of the cue ball, and she'll have a nice shot for the 2.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful shot to watch if it's executed. She went around the 8.
Around the 8.
She spinned the cue ball left-hand English, and that's why she went around the 8.
She didn't
Had she hit it with a center ball,
right?
then she would have came directly off the bottom cushion, utilizing the presence, the position of the 8 to stop it. Very difficult shot, and sometimes in order to pocket a shot like that, you rely on a little bit of spin. You feel more comfortable shooting it in that fashion. Perhaps that's what happened there.
Or she, might have just miscalculated slightly that, the fact that it was such a thin hit. She just thought she needed a little.
That's right.
A little
but we play and learn.
Beautiful. Oh, leaked out.
I think it also was very beautifully executed shot. Even though she was a little fortunate that the 2 found the position behind the 4, I like what she did with the cue ball. She hit it with a nice soft stroke and still was able to control the cue ball, which is really nice.
She would have liked it, obviously, a lot better if she stayed behind the 8. Let's look at the 2-4. It actually looks like the 4 is lined up just right, which Gerda got lucky and unlucky all in the same shot there. I think Algin, she hit it on the rail side, which threw the 4 ball out this way.
Right. And if the two balls were frozen or within possibly maybe even an eighth of an inch from one another, it's actually the opposite side that you have to hit it on to get the direction you want. In other words, if it's aiming toward the left side of the pocket, you want to hit the right side of the front ball. And that'll push it toward the right side of the pocket. She hit it on the inside, which pushed it away from the pocket because the balls were too closely positioned.
Let's see what she opts to do here. She has an offensive shot here. Score is what, Billy? 4-5?
5-4. This is a big game here. I think she can just pinch this. Little outside English, just like this. I think she could have hit it much softer than that also. But she done quite well with the shot.
Came
quite
out
well.
Like a rose. Looks like we might have a tie ball game.
It's quite possible. The balls are positioned quite nicely over the table. 5 in the side, 7 adjacent to the 5. Maybe she rolled up a little bit too far. Lost her marker on playing the 7 in the opposite side, where she would have then left herself a comfortable angle to get to the 8. No, she's fine. She has to be careful here now because she has an option to play position for either pocket with the 8. So she has to be careful because if she plays position for the upper left-hand corner, she can't afford to get straight in.
Either pocket, she doesn't want to be straight in. Just has to make sure she maintains an angle here.
She was very careful with that particular shot. She knew she couldn't afford to get straight in, and she kind of like let up a little bit on her stroke. Maybe feeling a little bit uncomfortable with that type of a stroke.
speed on this was, oh boy, very nice.
Okay, but it's not a gimme.
She's going to take a little time on it. It's a very big shot.
Yeah, anytime there's any indecision out there, you're better off getting up off the shot, like we saw Gerda just do. And you usually get better results there. And after game number 10,
you never want to pull the trigger unless you're 100% sure.
Down there, that would be a 5th place finish, 5th, 6th for Ms. Jennifer Chin. Recognize her for a fine tournament.
Well, the winner of the last feature match was Jennifer Chen. She went on to play Karen Kaur. Karen Kaur must have played this superbly, defeating Jennifer Chen by the score of 9-1. So Karen Kaur now advances. Jennifer Chen now must leave.
Jennifer had a nice tournament.
And this is a very interesting match. 5 games apiece, a race to 9. Gerda Hofstadter is at the table preparing to open up the balls in the 11th game.
And regardless of the outcome of this match, Billy, that really sets us up for another wonderful match in the next round. Winner of this match, of course, playing Karen Kaur.
That's true. You know, I really haven't had the opportunity to watch Karen Kaur that often. I saw her play a little bit, but I wasn't really, concentrating on her match because I don't know her. And since I really don't have an investment in the tournament of any kind, I really don't watch matches where I don't know the opponents. I'm sorry, I'm kind of selfish like that. But now I like to watch her play because of how well she's doing here and beating really great players.
Gerda just really stroked that ball nicely. Long shot, slight angle. She had to force it over the rail and come back.
Let's have an overhead here, please. Because she has the angle to go 1 cushion, 2 cushions. She may bump the 8. If she does, it'll keep her a nice line to drop nicely for the 4. She has hit it with more speed. She was overly concerned about the presence of the 8, and I think that's why she came up short of the mark there.
Well, and actually the ball came in the thick side of the pocket, slowed her down too.
Right.
She hit the ball a little too full.
Excellent observation.
Fuller than she anticipated.
Excellent observation, Belinda.
Looks like she may be banking at this ball. If she does it with speed, she's basically got a 2-way with the 8 and 9 there.
She does have an open pocket for the bank, but as you know, we really don't like the bank balls unless we absolutely have to.
She's looking at the cut in the side, Billy.
That also is available. Very small pocket.
Right. Come around 3 rails for the 4.
Very small pocket. Has to be hit very accurately.
Well,
wasn't able to put it down.
8, right, then,
Didn't suffer much of a consequence in regard to giving up an offensive shot. Matter of fact, no shot at all. She should feel quite fortunate to walk away from the table in the situation that Jeanette's faced with here. Well, fortunately for Jeanette, she can see the 3 ball, so she does have some control over the matter. All she could see enough of the ball to cut it in. Very nice shot. What's going to happen here? This is really an injustice if she scratches. Oh. I really don't like to see a player shoot a shot that carried the degree of difficulty as the 3 did, hit it perfectly, end up going 2 or 3 cushions and scratching in a small pocket. That's certainly an injustice. It didn't happen that time, and
very chilly.
Chilly. Really, I hate it when it happens to me. I mean, I just can't stand it.
It's you can't believe it.
Never happens to anyone else. At least I never saw it happen to anyone else, except Grady.
And that's at least once a match, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right on. What a match. I'm really happy with this match here, as everyone else is that's watching it, I do believe. Couldn't ask for a better match in terms of
Here we go,
closeness,
again.
excitement. I mean, we've seen a lot of great pool in this match, and the match is close as it can get.
Well, Gerda took a lower percentage shot, didn't come through with it. And
Oh, that's just pure carelessness.
yes, it was.
And to lose a match because of pure carelessness is very difficult to deal with. But I've learned something about Jeanette Lee this tournament, is that she does not allow stuff like that to interfere with her concentration the next time she comes to the table. And that's such an asset to have. And Jeanette Lee does handle that type of situation extremely well.
You definitely have to be able to let it go. You know, a lot of players, something that happened in the first or second game, they're still dwelling on it. You know, in the 12th game.
Other history.
And you have got to let it go. You've got to let it go.
And that's what I was referring to. Jeanette Lee really has shown me this tournament that she does not allow mistakes to burden her throughout the remainder of the match. And she really is able to brush it off quickly, and that's certainly an asset.
All right, you assess it, learn from it, and drop it.
And it's so easy to say.
Isn't it, though?
Yes. Now let's take a look at Jeanette in the chair. She's going to recompose herself here. She's giving herself a little brush of the hair. She's getting herself back into the positive state. She's starting to smile. She'll brush it off. I look for her to do well her next opportunity. Let's go. Game number 12, 6-5, Hofstadter.
About the same configuration, one ball down on the head rail. Cue ball at this end of the table.
Advantage definitely to the player in the chair. This is certainly not the type of a shot I would like to step up to after the break, because it's a very difficult shot to pocket, a very difficult situation to push to. I would like to see her just nudge the cue ball a half an inch rather than shoot it. Give herself a little more room from that cushion, because Hofstadter's not going to accept the shot, and plus you got the chance that Hofstadter will accept the shot. So push it out an inch. Never shoot it from this position. Push it out an inch and allow your opponent to make a mistake. See, this is a very difficult shot. I don't know how she's going to work. I don't know how well it's going to work out, but she was quite fortunate. It worked as well as it did, and even then it didn't work out that well because she has a 1-7 combination. But the point is in that type of a situation where you know you're up against it, push it out just an inch. Leave it up to your opponent to make a mistake. Sometimes they do. If they give it back to you, at least you're in a little better situation. That's all.
I thought, too, if it was possible, if she could have come, here and bumped the 5 out a little bit and leave the cue ball here since the 1 was here, then you've got a nicer time of it, to play the safe.
That's also a good option there. But sometimes you leave too good of a shot for your opponent, and you end up stepping back to the table in trouble. But you understand the point I was trying to establish.
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Well, again, as we said earlier, it's seems more difficult than it should be to control that first ball on a combination. I think she can hit the one out. Oh, she's going for the jump cue.
Interesting shot. One ball definitely 7 to 8 feet from the cue ball, but the problem with this particular shot is getting over the 3 quickly. But she only has to get over the edge of it, which she's done nicely. It looks like she's going to pocket the 1 cross corner. Watch out for the 5. Okay, she's okay.
And obviously, of course, she was trying to pocket the 1 in the other corner, but she'll take it.
Really not losing much dignity with that shot because of the difficulty of the shot.
And of course, with the frog, right? Robin's frog makes it so much easier.
Watch out for the cue ball. Watch out. Ooh, if she would have brushed that 6 going across the table, it would have definitely found a way into the corner pocket. Fortunately for Jeanette, that is. She didn't brush the 6, and she's still alive in this particular game.
Jeanette seems to be rushing a little bit. Didn't she get it? The 2 wasn't just like a gimme. Just bent over and addressed it a couple times.
Well, I thought that she had a couple different options available to her on that particular shot. Notice if she would have pocketed the 2, she wouldn't have had much of a future in regard to running out from the position she left herself with on the 3.
And in that sense, too, Billy, it didn't seem like she weighed all the available options before she bent over to shoot. Rushed in that sense also.
That's true. Wow. I don't fault her for doing what she did. And kind of like worked out for her pretty well, because she didn't really leave Jeanette that good of a shot. That could have been an offensive shot.
I think she can go tuck behind in the 6-3 area and bring the two.
This is a good shot, repositioning the cue ball somewhere in this area here, but it definitely carries a penalty, because if you don't get it there, you're probably in a lot of the time you're going to sell out a shot. Well, she was able to get it there. That was a perfectly executed shot, and
makes it even bigger with the 5 ball where it is. We can't see it right now, right here, because this option here, you see how the 5 becomes a large ball.
Now it cuts off the rail there, and it takes away that option.
Yeah. So that it looks. Yeah. She's going to come this. Whoops, excuse me.
And the target that she's shooting at is not a very large target.
Well, and when you're close to the rail like that, any pace that you put on the ball, it warps the cue ball.
Difficult to judge.
Mm-hmm. Very nice.
Excellent hit.
Even though she put pace on, did you see how nice and smooth and she accelerated through rather than punching it into the rail?
Mm-hmm.
You've got no chance doing that.
I like that.
You've got to stroke it nicely so that cushion, accepts the ball, compresses nicely, and releases the ball as it should.
Now, to most people, or some of them out there, they would think that Gerda got a little lucky there. I'm not going to argue that point, but I think what she did is she earned her luck there because of her ability to kick. There's sometimes you get lucky and you don't earn it, and sometimes you get lucky and you earn it. Let's look at it and put it in the right perspective. Nice angle on the 3.
Very nice, Billy. I like that.
Well, that lends to the fact that you should never give up, and it also teaches you to practice on not only pocketing balls but kicking and playing safe and other aspects of the game that certainly come up in a game, or certainly in a match. So therefore, if you can improve on those areas of your game, you'll certainly benefit by it at one time or another, and that's proven time and time again. It was proven the last time she was at the table kicking.
There's no doubt about it with the 1 foul rule that kicking has got to be a major part of your repertoire.
Absolutely. And with the pocketing of the 8 and the 9, it'll be Hofstadter with the 2-game advantage. And if you remember, back in game number 8, it was Lee that had the 2-game advantage 5-3. And since then, it's been Hofstadter, 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 and now again Hofstadter, the next 4 consecutive games.
Was it 5-3 actually?
It was 5-3. And I said, I'm kind of curious to see how she's going to respond if given an opportunity.
Yeah.
And you said yes, if she gets an opportunity. And she did get an opportunity, and she handled it quite well.
Well, and then Jeanette made the mental error, just a carelessness error, remember, on the 8 ball to tie it up rather than...
Right, that was such a
very
big shot.
big, yeah.
And if Jeanette goes on to lose this match, I think if you can choose one particular shot that was her undoing, it was the 8 ball. Yeah. But
turning point.
I'm not counting her out by any means.
No, of course not. Of course not. But it just emphasizes how an error like that, unnecessary error like that, can be so costly.
Right. And at the end of every tournament, and when you finally see who the winner is, you'll see that player was the player that got careless the less amount of times. Because when you win tournaments, you usually make all balls you're expected to make. In some, you're not. But all balls you're expected to make.
Right.
And when you get careless, it's very difficult to defeat the upper echelon player. Very difficult. There's a lot of congestion over here. That's going to be interesting later on in the rack. But there's always a possibility of this option, 3-9 combination. That's always
although
an option.
With Jeanette's straight pull background, she may be able to negotiate those balls a little easier than maybe someone that didn't have that background.
That's for sure. But she's confronted with her first problem here in shooting the 3 and controlling the cue ball on a thin hit. And it's going to be difficult.
She can either come behind it or she can go into the 9.
it's going to be difficult.
She elected to go into the 9, but came a little bit too low on it. But she's got certainly has a good safety opportunity.
She's got problems,
here.
really. I don't know if it's all that good because of the position of the 9, the cue ball in relation to the 9. She's really going to limit what she can do with the cue ball. You know, if she would like to follow straight through the 4, but where's the 4 going? You have to control the 4, and that's not going to be easy. Notice all the indecision out there. Certainly an indication that she's not comfortable with the situation.
Right. Well, if sending the 4 here to this cushion, right? You can come here.
Very workable. If she look, she played the 9. She says enough of this nonsense.
And you know what? The fact that those balls were tied up, she figures, you know, even if I don't get away with it, the chances are slimmer that, you know, that my opponent would get out.
I like that. That's exactly right. You know, so therefore the reward was certainly outweighs the risk. Very good. So at the end of game number 13, we have once again about as close as match as we can get, 7-6. Hofstadter with the lead. Very good, Belinda. Very good.
Now you like that,
Yes.
I see.
I love it when I can win and I can't lose.
Right.
or I can win and it's hard for me to lose. I always want to be in that type of a situation.
Always, at all times.
Pocketing the wing ball. One ball eventually coming to a stop near the other end of the table.
You know, and let's just see what effect that has on the momentum. Like you say, Gerda had won 4 games in a row, and now Jeanette comes with that shot, right? That's just the type of shot that can turn everything around. Well, earlier when she made, what was it, that the 3 ball in the left-hand corner? What a shot, right?
What a shot.
And that kind of surged her ahead a couple of games. And it's a roller coaster.
And this is the type of a game, or excuse me, I should say a match that we like to see, and we're certainly getting it, aren't we? Yeah, this is really great stuff right here.
Well played. Lots of momentum swings. Just the mental toughness that's being displayed.
This is the key shot in this particular rack.
Right, because the 4 is here. She wants to make sure she gets far enough so that she can get on the 4. Right, there we go.
Okay, now she's gone up table a bit or a tad too far. She may have to deal with the 9 here. But if she can draw it away from the 9 with a good stroke, she'll choose to do that.
I think she can.
And she was able to do that. But now look what we see here. Is this a possible ugly angle that she has?
Well, I think she's got the option to come back and come out, so even if she is straight.
That's exactly where you drew the line. But unfortunately, you didn't draw the speed.
Overstruck
or she didn't, one of the two.
Overstruck it just a hair. She can still just go over to the rail and back. You know, come out not too far to maintain this angle to get on the 8.
And the draw shot is really a really difficult shot to judge speed with. If you have an option to either follow or draw the ball, in most cases you're better off following it. But she didn't have that option. She had to draw it, and controlling the speed of that particular shot at that time was a little bit too much.
And actually, she doesn't want to draw this too much. There we go. Oh.
Well.
Yeah. It doesn't look like she was quite set, you know? Quite set. It wasn't like, okay, I'm 100% sure. That was kind of like a 80 maybe, you know?
Yeah, I think that you seem to feel that she's playing a little too quickly. And that seems to be your
Well, Jeanette, you know, Jeanette gets in a real...
Match.
She gets in a real nice rhythm, you know, and she's it's almost a dance, you know, and the aura that surrounds her when she's playing well and good focus and good concentration. You know, over the years, you really recognize each player's signature when they're playing well and what they look like. And when she's at her best, she's just a little bit more deliberate than she is today.
Now, this is a very, very interesting situation she's confronted with. She has the option, naturally, of banking the 5, trying to play some sort of position. Okay, maybe a little haphazard, maybe it's just too bit much to ask. She also has the opportunity or the option to cross the 5, send the 5 down this way, sending the cue ball somewhere over here, at least creating a lot of distance as an ally.
I like that.
Okay, that's a very viable option. But let's see what she has in mind.
She may be looking at this, Billy, cutting it in here and coming around over here. But, I mean, what's she going to do with the
that's
7?
possible, but it's possible. She's looking to cut this ball in. She's using a little bit of an inside ball, which is an indication to me she's looking to cut it in.
Right, and she's a little bit stretched out.
Yeah, she was looking to cut it in. Look, and it looks like she's gotten away somewhat with that shot. Jeanette now steps to the table with a very testy shot on the 5. Looks like she can cut it in, but she's got to hit it very accurately.
The only thing I didn't like about the option Gerda just took, had she not been stretched out over the table, that is a shot that she is very comfortable in pocketing. Okay, but being stretched out like that, not in having the luxury of your normal stance, that shot becomes 100 times tougher, right?
Yes, it does.
So the fact that she was stretched out like that, I don't know if that was the wisest choice.
Interesting situation.
Here she's got a bank with speed, and one option, she can bank the ball cross court, play it with speed so that if she comes, it's here, and you have the 9 to cover you. You have the 8, and the only thing you don't want to do is scratch.
Yeah, I really can't find fault in what she did. Matter of fact, that was a good option. Belinda pointed it out to us all when she drew the option on the illustrator.
You just have to really be aware of your cue ball on that shot.
Yeah, you have to take care of the white ball at all times. That seems to be a problem some players have, but it definitely is a priority, which we all have to respect. You have to take care of the white ball, and those of us who take care of the white ball the best usually ends up on top. And that time she didn't really take care of it, allowing Gerda at the table with another great opportunity, and it's getting kind of late in the match, by the way.
Well, this will put Gerda on the hill. Look, I think she's...
See, once again, I don't want to seem redundant, but once again, I'm going to refer to the draw shot. Notice that when you draw the ball, quite often you either underdraw it or overdraw it. It's such a difficult shot to judge the speed with.
Well, I think that's why developing a predetermined follow-through links, can help you out to control the cue ball on the draw stroke.
Yeah, and I really condone that. I think that if at all possible, everybody that's an aspiring player out there or would like to learn to play or even improve their game should always practice drawing the ball and use different techniques. And something will work, and you'll probably do much better the next time you have a draw shot. The draw shot has created some problems for both players during this match. And she would like to cut it in the corner, but that side pocket now becomes very large. I think that's what she's afraid of. And if she elevates to redirect the cue ball in some other direction, then she diminishes the accuracy. So therefore, she has a problem that she's trying to deal with. Let's see how she solves it.
If she can hit this with a little more pace so that the cue ball travels down the tangent line longer before it comes forward, because she's forced to use high because she's close to the rail.
Look at here. Oh, look at here. I mean, that's certainly an injustice. She was afraid of that. She was afraid of the scratch cross corner. She mustered up enough courage to shoot the shot and said, if I scratch cross corner, then so be it. I'm going to go ahead and
Well, I'll tell you, it was thinner than what I could tell from here, because she didn't even get close to the side pocket.
That's what she was concerned about, was the scratch cross corner. And she was well aware of the possibilities of that happening, but she just said, well, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. I'm going to pocket this 9 because it doesn't have to scratch. And really, that's not a bad attitude to have or a bad mindset to have when you're at the table, because no guarantee it's going to scratch. But if you give yourself the best chance of pocketing the 9, I think in the long run you'll do better. And that's really my belief on that. I think in the long run you will do better. That time it didn't work out.
Right. Well, you make all your calculations and you have confidence in that, right? Then you have to let go of everything else, and now you just focus strictly on pocketing the ball.
Yeah, she could have elevated or put an extra spin on that particular shot, but that really diminishes the accuracy. So therefore, she weighed it all up. She weighed up her options. She selected that shot, and I really admire her for doing this. She chose the shot she felt she had the best chance of winning, and she executed it perfectly, but unfortunately, she scratched.
Well, Jeanette didn't make anything on the break. Gerda has opportunity to get on the hill first.
But I can see that Gerda Hofstadter is truly a top player because she fell behind 5 games to 3. She bounced right back, winning the next 4 consecutive games, taking the lead 7 games to 5, and a very, very difficult shot on the 9. She was able to put it down. Unfortunately, she scratched, but now she has another opportunity. And as well as she's been responding to the pressures, I look for her to do well because she's really showed me a lot in this particular match. Right, and also, Billy, right away, we can tell just from the shots she shot so far, she's letting go of the last game, of the opportunity of going up 8-6. She's strictly focused on the task at hand. She certainly is. I think both of these players have to be commended on their ability to recompose themselves. I mean, that's such an important part of this game, and both of these players have shown me the ability to do that. And that's such a crucial and integral part of that winning formula. And I really do admire both of these players for having that in their game. Well, one plays on the other. The mental toughness gives you the confidence gives you the mental toughness. They go hand in hand. Nicely stroked ball. Another difficult situation to deal with. Cutting
I can't tell quite how much angle she has on the 5 ball.
Severe angle if she opts to cut the 5 in the side, even if it's available.
Well, she can probably draw it at least to here, don't you think?
No, I don't think that she can draw
not that
it.
much?
No, I think she has to go into the 9 if she cuts it in the side, even if it's available. I don't know from my vantage point if the shot's even available. If she cuts it into the side, she has to go into the 9. Maybe it's not that bad to go into the 9. She might even pocket the 9, Considering the situation, I probably wouldn't be a bad option.
That or hit the 9 on the rail side and go to the rail and come out for the 6, possibly. Just
See?
like
she
that.
might even pocket the 9. Wouldn't be a bad option.
The 9 ball was more than an ally on that shot.
It certainly was. Certainly was. So therefore, it was actually a two-way shot. But the problem with that shot is you're going into the 9. And if you hit it with that soft speed, if you do make the 5, you're confronted with a long, difficult shot on the 6. It's tough to pull the trigger understanding that. And once again, I have to commend her for having the courage to do that.
Right.
She got paid off for it, and I think deservedly so.
Very well. Very good point. I think what you've been trying all this time to say, Billy, is you must commit to the shot.
You certainly must commit to the shot like anything else in life. You have to make up your mind, your best chances of succeeding, and make that commitment. After the break, we're going to have to change the tape, but we're going to be right back. We wouldn't miss it. Okay, we're back in action, and fortunately for Jet, she's back in action. Her opponent, Hofstadter, is now on the hill. Jeanette has 7 games, but she does have a real good opportunity here, Belinda. Notice the position of the 3 and the 9 on the right-hand side of the table. The 2 is before the foot spot, which if she can play position somewhere in this area where the cue ball is now, she's opted to play position for the 2-9 combination. I don't know if I would have selected that route, but evidently she did, and it seems like it kind of worked out pretty good for her.
Yeah, I think she didn't have that much angle on the 1, Billy. I don't think she wanted to come with the monster stroke there.
Well, we have arrived.
Hey, did anybody say anything about Hill earlier?
We have arrived.
Is this fabulous or what?
I mean, this is like a script here, isn't it? This is like a script. I mean, we discussed before the match began that it would figure to be a very sharply contested match, and we wouldn't be surprised to see it go Hill. And at that time, we would like to see it to go Hill to see which player could deal with it the best.
That, and also that no one player would ever get 3 games ahead.
That's
more,
right. That's right.
Boy, talk about hitting it on the button.
Mm-hmm. And it's been really a pleasure doing this match with you, by the way.
Well, thank you, Billy. I've had a good time. Yeah, I've learned so much from you. Okay, well, let's see if the break turns out to be the advantage that it should be.
She hit the break solidly, very squarely, pocketing the corner ball on the break, and she has come up with a shot on the 1. The 2 balls positioned at the other end of the table, and then all of a sudden we have some congestion into 3, 4, and 9, the 3 balls that are positioned near the foot spot. Big problems ahead, but Jeanette feels much better being the one at the table in control. Difficult situation to deal with, but
At
we'll
least
see
she's
how
got
well
action.
she does. Yeah, right.
She's at the table.
This
Where you want to be in this spot.
looks like to me she's going underneath the cue ball. I don't know about that shot. Tough shot to shoot in the fashion that she shot it. I liked if she had the angle 1 cushion and down for the 2 in that fashion. I don't know from my vantage point if it was available, or I don't know from her vantage point if it was available. But from my vantage point, it looked like it was a possible route to take. I don't know if I saw it correctly. Hofstadter at the table. Go ahead, Belinda.
I was just going to say, I don't know what she saw that made her choose to come around over to the right instead of just the 1 rail.
Well, what she saw was going deeply into the upper right corner, coming this route down for the 2.
Right, but I'm saying I don't know what advantage she saw to that.
She's not going to like this, that's for sure. Too many interfering balls, but it was a necessitating situation for her. She had to do something with it. She didn't have any options other than to try to do something miraculously, and didn't work out well. She's at the table, though. She has a kick, and sometimes good things happen for you if you have the ability and the skills to kick accurately. Well, let's take a look and see how well she hits this.
She needs to hit. Well, we can't see there we go. I'd say right here. She hit above that and was thin, but she may have been flanked it. She was hitting those 2 rail kicks so nicely earlier. That might not have been a bad spot for one of those, Billy. Hit it thinly and send it up.
Okay, this is interesting also. There's no guarantee she's going to come away with a shot on the 3 here. She's going to go into the 8 with the cue ball. How far up table the cue ball goes? Oh, well, so he went into the 8 solidly, which was really what she wanted to do. Okay, now she's got the door pretty open right here. Everything seems to be pretty much in place here, providing that she can attain the right angle on the 4. If she gets straight in on the 4, it's history.
I'll tell you, and this is such a nice, boy, it's such a nice sensation to know that the match is in your hands. It's just, in other words, in Gerda's position right now, it's just you just have to hope that your opponent makes an error. When you're at the table, it's like,
Such a helpless feeling, though.
Oh, it's horrible.
Now, sometimes playing position for the corner pocket is right, simply because playing position for a corner pocket opposed to a side pocket allows you to control the cue ball much easier, simplifying the remainder of the rack. If she has the ability to play position for the 4 in the upper corner, I think I would choose that option at this time. There's some problems with playing position for the 4 on the side here. Okay, now she's obviously past her intended mark, but she's ended up in reasonable line on the 4. If she's able to pocket the 4 and drawing the cue ball back slightly, or at least in decent line for the 5, the remainder of the rack should work out fairly easily for her, but there's nothing easy when the score is tied up at 8 games apiece. Nothing is easy.
I'd say this is definitely the
Nothing is
key
easy.
ball.
That was a very nicely stroked ball because she had to hit it with a soft stroke, and if she applied any English on that shot, it may have thrown it off slightly. But it looks like she's worked her way through the major part of this rack. And all she needs to do now is take 2 or 3 strokes. It's just a shame either player had to lose this match.
It really is. Really is.
You know, because what Gerda showed me in this match was a lot of heart, a lot of ability, and a player that definitely will be reckoned with in the future.
Match was well played.
And there you have it.
Congratulations to Jeanette. Moves on. Wasn't that a great match, Billy?
Well, anyone that has the opportunity to watch this match only has one answer to that question. You're right again. Well, I'll tell you what, Gerda Hofstadter, certainly a player that's going to stay on top of the charts for a long, long time because she has all the tools, and most importantly, I feel she has the right demeanor, and she's able to compose herself where other players may not be able to do that, and I think that's really a great asset to have.
Well, and what's been nice is to, over the years, see that strength in her develop and grow and multiply. You know, I mean, you can almost see it. It's, you know, the difference when she first came over to the United States, very timid, very unsure. And she's turned into a giant now, you know.
Yeah, she certainly has developed
heart, talent, skill,
an upper echelon player, no question about it. I really enjoy watching her play, and I admire her for her ability and her uncanny ability to get back into a match when one might feel that she's out of it, you know. And she can do that, and that's what you need to do to become a champion.
I was just going to say, none of these players achieve a high ranking, Billy, if they have any quit in them.
That's for sure. That's for sure. There's a lot to be said about people that really are unrelenting in their pursuit of a goal, and when you find that type of a person, you usually find a winner. And that's what we have here in Gerda Hofstadter. And Jeanette Lee, you know, with her determination to win, that says a lot also, you know, because she has such great determination to achieve her goal.
Right.
You know, she has a lot of talent. You know, she's a very skilled player, and she has tremendous determination, and that's definitely one of her biggest assets.
Well, actually, another asset that Jeanette has is her work ethic. You know, she puts in a lot of time, whether it's convenient or not. You know, whether she feels like it or not. She, you know, of course, all the players to reach this level, you have to sacrifice a lot and make yourself, you know, put that time in on the table, whether you feel like it or not. Of course, you know, 99 out of 100 or 999 out of 1,000, you're chomping at the bit, ready to get on the table and work and, you know, learn and improve. But every once in a while, it's like, ugh. But she indeed has a very wonderful work ethic.
So all in all, it was a very exciting match. I'm certainly thrilled to have been able to do this match with you, particularly when we got the type of match that we end up getting. You know, it makes our job so much easier when we get some help from the players, which we certainly did in that match.
It was a real treat. The match, we couldn't have asked for anything more.
We certainly couldn't have. And so, in behalf of Belinda Campos, this is Bill in Incardona saying thanks a lot for supporting ACCUSTATS. Don't forget our number. It's 1-800-828-0397. And what we have in store for us next is Villarreal Fisher. And just quite possibly that match may be just as exciting. I don't know who my guest is going to be for that match. If it's not you, you know, I'll be a little disappointed, but I think I'll be able to deal with it.
Thanks, Billy.
Okay. Now I think we're going to have to leave now. Miss Campos, you may leave now.
Thank you.